A lot of people traveling. It was a busy travel weekend. Roadways, airports, and with flights being canceled left and right due to what the airlines are saying are COVID and staff shortages. The fact that you don't see more stories like this is surprising, but I don't know if you saw this story or not, but a Delta flight, which left Tampa, Florida, flying to Atlanta, was met by the FBI when it got to Atlanta because a woman on the plane decided mid-flight to start an altercation with other members of the flight plus the flight crew. She slapped people, scratched a man, spit on people, poured hot water on a guy. She just went nuts inside the airline. The reasoning or reasons behind it have not been released yet by Delta or the authorities in Atlanta, the FBI in Atlanta, who took her into custody. And it just gets me to thinking, why? Now, I've flown a lot, after 9/11, post 9/11, and it's a police state in the airport. If you want to be a part of the program, by the way, 622-9622 is the number to call. 622-9622 is the number to call. So it is a police state, and you got to adhere to certain things. You can't take, a set of nail clippers that's got a file on it because that's a knife, so they'll take it from you and throw it away. There's certain things you can't do. And one of them is you can't stand up in the middle of a flight and start fighting with people. But you couldn't do that before 9/11, but you really can't do it now. But that flight from Tampa to Atlanta is every bit of takeoff, cruise at 30,000 feet for about 15, 20 minutes, and then descent. That's literally the entire trip. Take off. By the time you get to 31,000 feet, you're about Valdosta. You fly for about 15 minutes till you get to Macon, and then you start your descent into Hartsfield Airport. That's literally the whole flight. The fact that somebody could lose their mind in that flight and beat up people, scratch, slap, spit on, pour hot water. First off, how'd you get the hot water? I don't know. That all this is still coming out as Atlanta police are releasing more and more information. But it got me thinking, in all my flights, and I used to fly to Vegas and Atlantic City and Chicago and New Orleans and L.A. to the Commerce Casino to play out there. I've flown all over the country. Not once have I ever seen a situation where somebody got in an altercation or got angry or lost their mind on a plane. Not once have I ever witnessed that. But it seems to happen all the time. And I'm wondering, 622-9622 is the number to call. Have you ever experienced that? Do you have a story of where somebody, and I've seen people lose their mind at the ticket counter. I've seen people lose their mind at baggage claim. I've seen people lose their mind at the taxi stand after the flight. I've seen all that, but never have I seen somebody lose their mind in flight. First off, that'd be scary as hell because you don't know what a crazed person or a person that's lost their mind might do. Now, I always try to, when I fly, I always try to get the emergency. I volunteer to sit in the emergency exit row. One, because there's, leg room. But I can throw the door open if we need to. But I always worry about if somebody freaks out, am I going to have to take them out before they get to the emergency exit door? I'm always concerned with that, but it's never happened. Nobody's ever, freaked out enough on a flight where it's been a serious consideration. But it happened here December 23rd, Delta Flight 2790. It left Tampa at 4:30 p.m. Listen to how long the flight took. Left Tampa at 4:30. It landed in Atlanta at 6:10. That's an hour and 40 minutes. Okay, you got to figure at Tampa, you sit on the runway a good 5 to 10 minutes waiting for your turn to go. And then they had arrived at the gate at 10 after 6. Well, the FBI was waiting. Well, you get into Atlanta, it takes you a good 15 minutes to get to the gate. So that's 20 minutes of that flight right there, the hour and 40 flight. So the actual flight time, like I said, is about an hour and 10, hour and 15 minutes. You take off, you get up to a cruising altitude about 30,000, 35,000 feet. You fly at that level for about 15 minutes, and then you descend and land in Atlanta. And in that amount of time, this woman lost her mind so much that officers were waiting at her on the gate. There's a video that was recorded on the flight. It was tweeted out December 25th by ATL Uncensored Atlanta News. It shows a woman standing in the aisle cursing at male passengers. She's then tried to be restrained by the crew. She slaps the crew. She slaps one of the men on the crew across the face, tells him multiple times then to put his COVID mask on. The whole time she's got hers pulled down around her chin. Someone in video reports a woman went crazy on the plane, punched this man in the face, spit on him, scratched him, poured hot water on my leg. Well, the U.S. Justice Department says passengers who assault, intimidate, or threaten violence against flight crews and flight attendants do more than harm to those employees. They prevent the performance of critical duties to ensure safe travel. So she's going to be charged with a litany of situations. Litany of charges coming her way. And for what? What were you going to do by losing your mind? And look, this is a person talking to you on this radio who is volatile. Okay, I've lost my mind in some very dumb situations. I'll be the first to admit that. I have blown a gasket in situations where people go, huh? What'd you blow a gasket there for? Never once have I even thought about blowing a gasket on a plane. And I've had rude kids, kick in the back of your chair. Had rude people lay their chair down right in your lap. Had one guy that sat next to me the whole flight, 4.5 hours out to Vegas because we didn't have a tailwind. We were fighting the wind the whole way. 4.5 hours, he sat right next to me. He was in the aisle seat, and the middle seat. I was in the aisle seat. We were in the emergency exit row. Sat right next to me the entire time, eating some sort of food that he brought with him that smelled like pure ass. It was horrible. Smelled like the stall that you would keep your donkeys in. That's how bad it smelled. I just kind of covered my nose and dealt with it. Because you're in a police state. If you lose your mind, you go to jail. And they don't care what you lost your mind over. If you lose your mind on an airplane, you're wrong. And you see it repeatedly happen. And I just, maybe I don't grasp it. Maybe I'm just missing the point. 622-9622 is the number to call if you want to chime in. Because I don't know. It's one of those things where you go to jail if you lose your mind in an airplane. They don't care why you lost your mind. You just go to jail. And it's a federal charge. It's not a state charge. It's a federal charge. That's a little tougher. State charges are bad, but federal charges are a little tougher. And now this woman faces 7 different charges. 7 different charges. And for losing her mind on a plane that was going from Tampa to Atlanta that was in the air all of an hour and 15 minutes. I just don't get it, folks. We'll take a break. We'll come back more on Ocala Talks. You're listening to 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. This is WOCA, The Source.
Get it for less at the DIY Home Center outlet. Get top quality real wood cabinets the same or less than the big box stores are selling the cheap stuff. And that's not all. Drywall screws big box stores are $6.47 a pound. At DIY only $4.99. Plus DIY has the largest selection of mobile home parts and accessories anywhere. From carpet to doors, get the DIY supplies you need for less. The DIY Home Center outlet. We are your building material closeout store. 2191 Northwest 10th Street, just 2 miles east of I-75.
Visit the Appleton Museum of Art for a Dickens Christmas, the Urban Family Holiday Exhibition. On view through January 9th. This festive annual display features beautiful themed trees,